Well, both fighters proclaim they will not waste time. They'll start throwing from the bell. It'll grow even more intense each round. Here we go. Marquez in the black, Vasquez in the blue. The champion Israel Vasquez, who can change a fight with one punch, said he'll look to get inside and apply pressure. You don't want to get too close to Vasquez. Marquez has dramatically improved his boxing IQ and combines skill with extraordinary power in both hands. A very accurate combination puncher.
In this early going, several things to look for. Marquez wants to just have the slightest of movement to make sure he's not standing right in front of Vasquez. And Vasquez wants to jab his way in when he's going to attack. So we'll see if both men are doing that.
We'll look to see if Marquez can absorb Vasquez's punching power. And will his punches be just as strong at super bantamweight as they were at bantam? Interestingly, Vasquez said Marquez fades as the fight goes on, as the fight progresses, but I'm not so sure about that.
Well, we'll see. You know, there may be lapses, and we'll get into that a little later for Marquez, but these early rounds really important for Marquez. He wants to get on the scorecard and take advantage of the fact that maybe he will start a little quicker. We'll see if he can do that. Right now, very even first round, though Vasquez, I think, has been a little sharper.
Marquez wants to control the action, much like Johnny Gonzalez did earlier on against Vasquez, until Vasquez solved that puzzle and got inside on the long, tall Johnny Gonzalez.
These fighters are perfectly matched. It's really interesting. Even in this first round, which hasn't produced wild fireworks, but good, solid action, you can see they are both matched very well in terms of their styles, and you know it'll be interesting.
Recently, Vasquez stopped Gonzalez, Ivan Hernandez. Here's Marquez with a left hand upstairs.
They both traded left hooks there, both landed, and that's the punch. I'm telling you, if there's a knockout in this fight, I believe it will come from the left hook of one of these two fighters.
Vasquez missing with a slashing right. Landed with a left hand.
Vasquez is trying very hard to get downstairs with that left to the body.
Blood already from the nose of Israel Vasquez. And there's a hard left hand to the chest area by Marquez. And a double left hook to the body by Marquez.
That was a combination. Before that, a jab and then a left hand by Marquez, the kind that he can land so effectively.
It's finding a home early. Final seconds of round one. Here comes Marquez with a beautiful combination to the head. Now, a left uppercut to the jaw. It backs up Vasquez. So a fight breaks out right away. And Vasquez in some trouble.
A big right hand by Marquez hurt him.
It jolted Israel Vasquez.
The early edge and power goes to Marquez.
Vasquez's knees actually buckling in that scenario. Round two. But you can never count Vasquez out because of his power. Two guys with questionable defenses, which makes this so exciting. Let's see how Vasquez reacts after being rocked towards the end of that first round. So as advertised, they both come out throwing. And Marquez so far with the upper hand.
And they're both such good ring technicians, especially offensively. This is like watching a clinic of good boxing.
Marquez more technically polished perhaps than Vasquez. There's that right uppercut just missing by Vasquez.
And you know, that's the wild card in this fight. Oh,
big right hand to the jaw by Marquez.
The uppercut's the wild card. Both men have a good uppercut. They have to be careful when they throw it to not leave themselves open.
Vasquez is finding out that Marquez does indeed have power in both hands.
And remember, in some ways, this fight is going to form. Many people thought Marquez would do better in the early going. The question is, could he win this fight in the early going and not let Vasquez later on come on?
Yeah, once again, you can never count a guy like Vasquez out. Anytime you have a puncher like Vasquez, he's always in it. He could be way behind, and he's still in it. Inside uppercut by Marquez. Vasquez blocking that jab. Vasquez trying to settle down and find the openings. Marquez pushes Vasquez back with a double jab. Now Vasquez counters with a triple jab. Another jab got through that time by Vasquez.
Right now, a slight edge in hand speed to Rafael Marquez, and he's throwing better combinations, and that's what's making the difference in these first couple of rounds.
Vasquez digging in with uppercuts on the inside. Nice, strong jab by Marquez.
Now Vasquez on the inside is throwing that hook to the body. He wants to come with the double left hook, and I think that's part of the way he's setting it up.
Heavy right, straight right by Marquez that landed to the jaw. Vasquez tasting a lot of leather here in the first 2 rounds.
The last round and a half, Rafael Marquez has been as good as he could possibly be.
He seemed kind of tight, but he's not fighting that way.
No, he isn't.
Vasquez seemed the looser of the two, but he is down. He's behind to this point.
Good, solid right hand to the head of Vasquez.
Nacho Beristain very responsible for transforming Rafael Marquez into an excellent boxer. We already knew he had the power, but now he's able to combine those 2 key elements. Round 3.
We thought this fight would turn on who makes either the first mistakes or the most mistakes. And right now, for Vasquez, part of the reason he's getting hit with those right hands is one of the keys. His jab's a little lazy and his left hand's a little bit low, and Marquez is able to get his right hand in.
And Marquez's punches not only dangerous, but they're slashing type punches, and they often cause or can exacerbate cuts. Just ask Silence Mabuza.
Vasquez was in a very good rhythm for the first part of round 1, but it hasn't been since then.
He's been slowed by the punching power of Rafael Marquez.
Now right in there on the inside, Vasquez was able to get the right-handed, but hasn't been able to uncoil the left hook when he's in there. He needs that punch even more than Marquez.
Marquez with a heavy right. It sent Vasquez back. Oh, did that get Vasquez's attention? Now a left hook to the jaw. Whoa. And down goes Marquez. Vasquez knocks Marquez down. A left hook nailed Marquez, and he went sprawling to the canvas. Marquez down for the 3rd time in his career. Round 3 with 1:14 remaining. And sustained, non-stop, 2-way action. Just when it looked like Marquez was having his way, down he went. And he's got a minute to go.
Vasquez is now uncoiling that left hook, and that's what made the difference. He was able to get that punch off.
Both these guys have tasted the canvas before. Both usually come back with renewed vigor. They prosper from adversity. We'll see how it affects Marquez.
Vasquez has not been wild in his attack. He has been cautious. He knows Marquez is dangerous. He doesn't want to let the moment pass.
A lot of folks wouldn't be surprised now if Vasquez went down. 20 seconds left in the 3rd round. It is as advertised. Most of the fans here at the Home Depot Center standing.
10 segundos para la campana, 10 segundos. Tira golpes, ahí salte.
As we head for the bell in a breakthrough round for Israel Vasquez. Final instructions from Nacho Beristain, who said, all right, nothing happened. He was trying to just calm Rafael Marquez down as we enter into round 4 after a very dramatic 3rd round.
The interesting thing is, if you had asked people to take a bet who would go down in the first 5 rounds, they would have probably suggested Vasquez, and Vasquez was hurt in this earlier in this fight, but instead it was Marquez.
So a lot of back and forth, give and take, just as the 2 fighters felt it would be. And as we expected, both men committed to giving the fans an all-action fight, and they're living up to that commitment right here.
One thing we've not seen as much from yet from these fighters is the body work. They're both great body punchers, and we may start seeing that in the rounds to come.
The fans in unison chanting for Marquez.
The Marquez jab has been very effective, and probably he's out-jabbed Vasquez by just a little bit.
So Marquez down 1:28 into round 3. A right-left combination, but the left hook did the damage after Marquez was pretty much controlling the action. Marquez drawing blood from Vasquez's nose late in the first round. Oh, these are tough, hard inside body shots by Marquez. It's got Vasquez grimacing.
Now, I thought that the Vasquez left hook was an important weapon in this fight. I thought Marquez's left hook might be his major weapon, but now it appears if he hooks with Vasquez, Marquez is in a little bit more danger than he needs to be, Steve. So I think Nacho Beristain rightfully wants the right hand for Marquez more.
Vasquez trying to weaken Marquez with blistering shots to the temple.
Vasquez came very close with another one of those left hooks.
The jab of Marquez sending Vasquez back.
What a close round 4 is.
Oh, big swing and a miss. Combination to the head by Marquez. Very accurate, sharp, precision-like punches by Marquez. He's probably scored more clean and hard shots throughout the fight, although he's the one that tasted the canvas. Here's Vasquez. Again, tasting leather.
Marquez
great jab set up the right.
Wow, nice combinations. And again, the right hand, the big weapon for Marquez there.
Good rallying by Marquez after a tough third round in which he went down. Marquez showing a lot of poise, able to regroup well. Our translator Felix De Jesus. Israel Vasquez understands English, but he responds in Spanish. Rafael Marquez does not speak English.
Neither of these fighters have ever lost a title match. 6-0 for Vasquez, 8-0 for Marquez. Even if there's a draw, that record will change tonight.
Oh, nice left-right combination by Israel Vasquez. Back comes Rafael Marquez with a combination of his own. Oh, a big right hand up. The combination by Marquez. Tremendous give and take.
Nacho Beristain rightfully wanting Marquez to use the jab a lot. That will set up the right hand. And Freddie Roach correct. Vasquez cannot let Marquez get off first all the time in this fight.
A lot of people comparing this early on to Castillo Corrales 1, and it's starting to take on that special feeling.
I think the trick for Vasquez in this fight is to get in position inside where he can again keep throwing those hooks. That's his ticket in this fight. He won't outbox Marquez from the outside, just as he couldn't do that against Johnny Gonzalez.
Press row scoring. It's close. Marquez by 1 point right across the board. Carlos.
Exactly the way I have it.
Carlos Arias, Orange County Register. Steve Kim, MaxBoxing.com. Lance Pugmire from the LA Times. The warning to Israel Vasquez from referee Raul Caiz Jr. hitting behind the head. Vasquez pushing Marquez back.
Now that was a good right hand from Vasquez. That's not his primary weapon in this fight, but he has a good right hand.
Right uppercut, right on the chin by Rafael Marquez. They continue to trade vicious punches.
Wow, there's the body work by Vasquez. He's been a little more committed to it in this fight than Marquez has. Oh, good work on the inside.
Right hand to the side of the head by Vasquez. Explosive, dynamic action. A straight left hand on the neck jaw area by Vasquez. Marquez issues a flurry. Sets up the right with the left jab, but the right missed. Back comes Vasquez with a left hook off the top of Marquez's head.
We're going to see another big left hook land by Vasquez. I don't know when it's going to come, but it's going to come in the next couple of rounds.
Right hand by Marquez with authority. What conviction behind that punch.
Great combinations by Marquez.
Vasquez is hurt. Marquez going in for the finish. He wants to close the show. Vasquez, all of a sudden, in a lull, he stopped for a moment for some reason. And Marquez is trying to take advantage as the bell sounds.
Nailed here, and so he did. So yeah, it was something that happened with his eye.
And Vasquez comes running out of his corner to start round 6.
Now, that left eye could close a little bit. Whatever happened there, this might have some impact on the vision of Vasquez. Now, there's a double left hook by Vasquez. He better get to throwing that weapon in this fight before things get away from him.
Now showing a sense of urgency is Israel Vasquez as he really pumps up the volume here in round number 6. The jab of Marquez has been so effective, keeping Vasquez off balance and setting up the power shots. Left uppercut misses by Vasquez. Raul Caiz Jr., the referee went to stand saying that Vasquez was thumbed up the nose, which caused Vasquez to momentarily stop, and then Marquez jumped on the situation. The Vasquez realized, I got to fight back. He just nailed Marquez on the head. Marquez turns him around.
Now, you know, in every Rafael Marquez fight, or most of them, against Silence Mabuza and several others, Marquez has had little lull periods, Steve, in the somewhere between the 3rd and 7th round. And that's what Vasquez was counting on. Now, we haven't seen it yet. In fact, he was able to get to Marquez early, but in these rounds, Marquez has retained sharpness.
And I think it's more mental than physical, because he's in tip-top condition as he trains in the high altitude of the Mexican mountains. The crowd chanting for Marquez.
Vasquez has picked things up a bit, though, in this round. 6 has been a little better for him. Whether he's winning it remains to be seen, but he's off to a better start anyway in this round.
Shaking the effects of the alleged thumbing.
The Marquez jab has just been excellent, and there he jabbed downstairs, and that helped set up that right hand by Marquez.
Non-stop action from the start of this fight. Minute to go in the 6th. It's scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship. Israel Vasquez, the champion, in the blue with the silver trim. Rafael Marquez, the challenger, in the black with the white trim. Vasquez 41-3 with 31 knockouts. Marquez 36-3, 32 knockouts, both undefeated in title fights. Marquez pushing Vasquez back with the double jab. Back comes Vasquez now. Right hand to the head.
On the inside, Vasquez can do better than Marquez for the most part, and he's committed more to the body work.
And they continue to gun away from close range. There's that jab by Marquez, continues to be effective.
Rafael Marquez very accurate with his combinations. Tough round to score.
Both with a very high work rate throughout.
Good, clever maneuver by Marquez.
Although Vasquez denied it, he may have had his nose broken in the Johnny Gonzalez fight, and his nose looks a mess here now, particularly after that alleged thumbing.
Freddie Roach made a point to ask Vasquez for a lot of body work. They think maybe that body work will help him as this fight wears on, and it probably will.
Oh, big left hook by Vasquez. Oh, man, that just took the starch out of Rafael Marquez. Huge shot, a bomb.
Boy, and yet Marquez able to sustain through that. That looked like a monster shot, but Marquez still in there battling.
That just stopped Marquez in his tracks. And he hasn't been the same since. Big left hook there by Israel Vasquez. Let's see if that turns it here. Another left hand to the jaw by Vasquez. Marquez and Vasquez both very hittable. You see the scores. Each has it by 3 for Marquez.
That's exactly how I have this fight. 58-55 for Marquez. The volume of punches much better for Rafael Marquez. There's no question about that. Not that Vasquez is landing his share. It's just that Marquez landing more.
And I don't know, whose punches are harder on the whole?
Well, I think Marquez has landed some very big shots. So is Vasquez. But
so is Vasquez.
You know, so in terms of power, it's tough to tell. Good body work there by Vasquez, but the combination from the outside clearly better for Rafael Marquez, and that's why he's ahead on the scoring of the press row people in my scoring.
Well, Vasquez coming on, big left hand there. Back comes Marquez.
This is great. I mean, both these fighters doing little things, subtle things, throwing punches with power. It's just an excellent boxing match.
Left hook blocked by Vasquez.
And it's okay to block one. It really is.
I'd say so. Almost no let up in the action.
And you know, in round 6 and 7, Vasquez has really been committed to the body work. We'll see if that will slow Marquez down at all as this fight wears on.
These two guys have to be in incredible condition to withstand this kind of punishment and to issue these kinds of punches over and over again. Marquez with the left uppercut. Now the left was blocked by Vasquez. Vasquez with a left-right combination coming on. Vasquez turns it up. Back comes Marquez.
Oh, wow.
And they trade, going toe-to-toe in the center of the ring.
Israel Vasquez early in the round lands this unbelievable left hook. Marquez, while he took that punch really well, that's astonishing. Then Marquez with Vasquez landing the jab and landing some good punches behind it. But Marquez coming back with a couple shots.
What's happening? It's over. Israel Vasquez has quit.
Wow.
I don't believe it. Rafael Marquez is the winner. Out of nowhere, Israel Vasquez decides not to go on, and you have to go back to perhaps the issue of the nose. Maybe he just can't breathe.
I mean, we see the blood coming from it. We're not going to speculate. We'll get information as we go on that, but certainly it's conceivable that's the reason.
Out of nowhere, Al, Vasquez just strolled over to the Marquez corner and waved it off. And a jubilant Rafael Marquez has snatched the title away. Unbelievable finish.
The irony is it came after the 7th round, the round in which Vasquez thought he was going to win this fight.
We're getting the report now that Vasquez broke his nose. That's that point in time when he turned away.
Yep.
And he just feels that he can't continue with that situation.
Well, it put an abrupt end to what over 7 rounds was as good a boxing match as you're likely to see.
I mean, it was the true boxing definition of a war. And it's a shame it had to end this way. We're going to hear the audio in the corner. Check it out.
I can't. You sure? Yes, I'm sure. You want to stop the fight? Hey, come around. You want to stop the fight? Yes. Ref, let's stop the fight. Stop the fight? Yeah.
Plain and clear. You heard Vasquez say to his trainer, Freddie Roach, I can't do it anymore.
And I think he might have suggested he can't breathe. And I think that's a big part of the reasoning there.
So, an abrupt ending to a brilliant fight. Just a crying shame that it had to end in that fashion. Marquez, of course, celebrating the victory, but you know, Israel Vasquez unfortunately had to abruptly end this fight with the nose problem. But what a non-stop war up until that point. It was great.
we'll go back to round 5 when we think this situation began, and it's what made Vasquez turn away. Both 2 jabs right to the nose. Yeah, those were hard punches, and that is probably where the nose got broken or whatever happened, whatever injury happened to the nose. And then as it kept getting worse over the 6th and 7th round, trouble breathing for Vasquez and very difficult for him to continue.
And now, given the kind of warrior that Israel Vasquez is, you can't get on him. Of course, you can't. He's not a jive kind of a guy.
Absolutely not. So whatever the nature of this injury, it clearly was sufficient to make it hard for him to continue.
You got to believe him. He just could not continue, couldn't breathe through the nose. It's shattered, it's broken. And this man, Rafael Marquez, with a successful move up in weight and grabs another world title, his 2nd. Let's get it up to Jimmy Lennon Jr. with the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 7. A referee in charge, Raul Cais Jr., stops the contest upon suggestion of the corner that Vasquez was unable to continue. He is the winner by way of technical knockout. He is the new WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, Rafael